for the South Australian Drink of the Week this week, we thought we'd record it at a picnic. That's what Glenn Malycha said. Trust me, Steve, I've got a great location. And do I look like a picnic kind of guy? This is one of the most uncomfortable recording sessions I've ever had, but Glenn, I appreciate the thought.
Excellent, I'm glad you do.
And it gave me a chance. The lovely Sir Frank Seeley from Seeley International gave me this picnic rug, and I thought this would be a perfectly classy way to give it its first use.
Fashionable and, what's the word? Functional.
Yes, exactly.
In fact, I'm going to get one as soon as we finish.
Now, we're here because we're going to taste some wines, and we've got 3 bottles with us from a winery. Which winery are we tasting?
Today, Steve, we've got Artis Wines from the Adelaide Hills made by magical winemaker Andrew Miller.
Artis is a great name, can I just say. It suggests to me someone given to the arts who loves that creative expression.
Yes.
And I've noticed lots of linotype art. I think it's linotype. Is that the word? I'm not sure.
I said hieroglyphics just to make myself sound educated, but I think you're right.
It's those lovely line etchings all over the bottle, over the labels. Tell us the history behind these.
Beautiful. So look, Andrew is a lovely guy, great winemaker, and learnt his craft over many years of working with the Orlando winery in the Barossa Valley. So this obviously led to a career for Andrew where, because of his talents, he was asked to go to all these other countries and see other vineyards and work with other winemakers, because Orlando, I guess, getting bigger and bigger over the years, started putting some fingers in some other vineyard pies. And so they said, Andrew, go, conquer, head over there and see what they're doing and learn some new techniques and bring them back and see if we can adapt that to Australian style. So these hieroglyphics, no, what was the word?
Well, I said linotype, but I think it's lithographics. I think lithographic is the actual term.
Oh, yes,
Anyway.
Lithographics. That sounds excellent. So there's these beautiful little pieces of artwork all over Andrew's Artis wine bottles that show his travels. So if you look very closely there, Steve, you'll see a little tiki there from New Zealand.
Yes.
Where else? We've got from Spain, there's a little symbol there from, the bullfighting. And for those of you at home, the bull is winning. And of course, he's been to Italy there and New Zealand, all over, and Portugal. So he wanted to bring back all those memories on his label.
And these lithographic prints, we'll find out what the actual word is later, and it's too late because we've already recorded. We're in the middle of nowhere on this beautiful picnic rug. So just have to sorry to all involved if we've got that word wrong, but we're on the label at the moment of the Pinot Noir, 2021 Pinot Noir. Now, if you're going to grow Pinot Noir in South Australia, Adelaide Hills is probably a good spot because, yes, you do get some warmth, but you've got that little bit more stability. It's a very tricky variety to grow.
Oh, look, anyone will tell you it can be very cheeky, but you're right. Pinot Noir, Adelaide Hills, Andrew Miller, it was pretty obvious. He's got a coin, he's flipped it, he's gone, heads I plant in Adelaide Hills, tails we plant in Adelaide Hills.
Yes.
And so, look, he's got some great friends with vineyards too, so he's got access to some really lovely fruit for his Adelaide Hills Pinot Noir.
He's also got an Adelaide Hills Chardonnay 2021 that's available right now. Now, I've got to confess, I do, anytime anyone mentions Chardonnay, I say, please, dear wine god, let there be some oak in it, because the world moved away from oak Chardonnay, and I left at that point. Tell me he's got a little bit of wood.
Look, like 125,
he's got the wood prints.
125 hippopotami trying to sit in one little rowboat. More is not always better. So we learnt our lesson in the 90s, didn't we? We packed too much oak in, and the fruit started crying. It was like eating a sawdust sandwich, and too much sunshine in a bottle. Then we backed it off, and then we went austere and went like no Chardonnay, no oak whatsoever, which is cool if the fruit is there, Steve. That's okay. The fruit can do the singing. So Andrew, among all these techniques he learnt in his world travels, has understood that you can play around with techniques like whole bunch pressing, and you can do things with wild yeast and all that sort of thing, but when it comes to oak, make it French and don't have too much of it.
Okay.
And there's the perfect Chardonnay, Steve. That's the solution.
Okay, so we're trying to work out which one we're going to try right now, but that Chardonnay sounds alluring to me.
Oh, indeed.
The only thing I disagree with, I don't think you can put too much oak in, just between you and me, but I love those big, cheesy, milky, creamy Chardonnays, but I'm willing to evolve over time. A bit like some of these lithographic arts show yesteryear, and yet they're being drawn into the current times, and I'm willing to be dragged as well.
Good.
I've also got a Grüner Veltliner Is that how we pronounce it?
You can if you want to, yes.
How do you pronounce it?
Well, Grüner Veltliner or Grüner Veltliner, but these days people just say, hey, Grüner. We're in Australia. Another bottle of that fantastic Artis Grüner. Thanks, mate.
2019. Oh, that's a few years.
I know. I've deliberately brought this, Steve, because the complexity starts coming on board. So give Grüner a couple of years to really hit its straps, and away we go.
Okay, give me a couple of seconds, though. Give me a couple of seconds, because we have to toast our late patron, Queen Adelaide, and we might as well taste this as we talk. Grüner Veltliner.
You say Austrian, I guess. You'll find it in Austria. And once again, Andrew's gone over and fallen in love with these techniques, much like he did in Germany with discovering Riesling that's fermented at very low temperatures.
Because Grüner is green.
And Veltliner is a 50-seater express bus that goes from Adelaide to Sydney twice a week.
There you go, so the green bus. All right, well, let's toast our late patron first, Queen Adelaide. To the Queen.
To the Queen.
All right. Look at that golden colour. It's like Queen Adelaide has accidentally let her purse flap open, and we're seeing gold coins sparkle next to her little hip.
Yes, that's right. And now, may I go out on a limb? It might be a very small limb that's had a chainsaw hack it halfway through, but I'm going to say, if you like Chardonnay, you're going to love this, Steve.
Do you know what? As you were saying that, my palate was going, oh, this is actually not a bridge too far from those big Chardonnays I love. It's not exactly like that at all, but it's meeting me halfway. It's probably like that famous bridge in Prague that I'm sure he's walked across. I have on the way to see we went to see the Magic Flute opera in the Opera House in Prague when I lived over in Budapest. And, oh, by the way, Alexis, long-time listener, have a drink. Whenever I mention my time in Budapest, he has a drink. We left at half-time thinking the show was over because it wasn't in English. We thought that was a great show. Off we walked, and then everyone started going back inside, and we were too embarrassed.
Oh, dear.
So we only had half a flute that night.
Oh, dear. And
however...
So you went and found a bottle of Chardonnay and carried on?
If only. I would have loved that. We had to drink just Pilsner to drown our sorrows. I see. Anyway, let's get back to the Grüner Veltliner. Or Veltliner, or Greyhound bus, whatever it is.
That's the one.
Tell me, you were telling me about this. I want to comment on the deep, deep yellow, golden hues in this glass. There's no straw here. This is beyond straw. No. This is beautiful, deep gold.
This is golden, like you said, straight out of the Queen's purse flap there, Steve. And I think, if I may be so cheeky, some of the winemakers in Australia caught some of the wine writers napping, and this is not a bad thing. What I mean is, when Grüner started growing in South Australia, the winemakers started looking at this and going, well, do we make an Austrian style and try to mimic the rest of the world, or do we use some of their techniques to create our very own Australian style and be proud of it? So then what happens is you make a wine like this and you send it to a wine writer, and they've got to go, oh my goodness. Wine writers that I know are fascinating people because they have some sort of librarian memory where everything's catalogued. And they suddenly have to go, am I judging this against Grüners I've seen in my travels in Austria, or am I now judging this as a pioneer of Australian Grüner styles? And if I may say, Andrew is one of those pioneers. He understood what to do with this fruit. And that's why I don't want to say creamy and I don't want to say buttery because it scares people off. But there is a viscosity in here that if you do like those Chardonnays, and there is an oak complexity here that is beautiful, yet with a couple of years there's spice.
I don't want to offend Andrew, but I would say bruised pear. That sort of, there's a soft pear, and a beautiful, rich, sweet pear, not a tart, hard, wooden one.
What if we said poached pear? Because Andrew, he's a lovely guy. He won't be offended. And yet, I see what you mean.
Yes.
We're going to say ripe and juicy. Like if you bit into it, it'll ruin your best shirts.
And but it's soft. There's no.
How do you know it's going to notice?
No one's going to notice.
But I know what you mean. I know where you're going from. So this lends itself to so many different foods that can have subtle spices in it. So you can go for your life in the kitchen there and explore and have so much fun with different cuisine. And to me, this is one of those styles where if you go into your local bottle shop and you do the same old, because, we do get used to our favourite things, go out and ask for a Grüner. Ask for Artis Grüner, the one with the hieroglyphic Artis.
Yes. Or even the lithographics.
Those things on it. And the lovely folks at the shop will say, this is exactly what you need. Take it home. Don't drink it too cold sometimes because you might miss out on some of that action.
There's a little bit of condensed fruit salad on my palate. And again, not golden circle level syrup, but just mid-range, blended. Someone's popped a tin of unsweetened fruit salad through the blender.
That's right. The peach juice that Mum used to let you drink out of the tin as well as you cut your lip on the on the lid. Yes. You know, that sort of fresh juiciness.
And it's finishing softly. There's no real tannin to talk of, but it doesn't leave a sweet sickliness either. There's nothing like that. It just closes shop. It says enough. It's like an Austrian bus station keeper. He said, "Nein, we are schussen and geschlossen," and just flips that sign around and doesn't matter what you say. Bitte?
Correct.
You know.
It's too late for that.
Yes.
That's why I love working with Andrew, because he's found what it is that Grüner's the best at, and he's managed to capture that in the bottle so you can find it later. It is a fascinating grape variety that I recommend people get into.
There's still something else elusive which I can't get. We're not going to get now. I think we're going to just lay back and enjoy this beautiful location that you've taken me out to.
Actually, did you leave the keys in the car?
No, you've got the keys, haven't you?
No.
Oh.
I thought you had them.
I thought you had them. I said, Glenn, have you got the keys?
Oh. I said I had the Grüner.
Well, we've got 2 more bottles here.
Okay.
We'll be fine. Nice legs on the glass too, I might say. Where do we get this? If you need this, and I think you need some artists in your life, where?
Well, look for us here.
Yes. We'll be here for about 3 days.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
waiting for the RAA to come.
Yeah, that's right. Especially if you've got the keys.
I hope you've got your phone.
Look, ring Andrew. I'll give out his mobile number to the world. He won't mind. He'll be up at 3 o'clock in the morning practicing bagpipes. No, look, you can go to artiswines.com.au, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, you can jump out in front of my 1974 grey Skoda panel van, from which I sell wines, or absolutely all the best bottle shops out there, independent bottle shops, and fine dining establishments, folks. Ask for it by name.
All that's left for me to say is the 2019 Grüner Veltliner, or Veltliner. Veltliner! Hello! From the Adelaide Hills by Artis, is the South Australian drink of the week. Do you really not have the keys with you?
Sorry, I thought I had the blanket.
I don't even have my phone with me. Can you start a fire with this stuff? Rub 2 bottles together.
No, I don't sell that sort of wine still.
Adelaide, Adelaide, Adelaide.